Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome to the season and the series finale of Rise opening night. Today we are talking new beginnings, new condos, new jobs, but original endings. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This song is called Be Okay by Oh Honey. Yeah. And everything's gonna be okay, guys. I know it's the season finale. Rise is actually not coming back for season 2, unfortunately. But we ended with a bang. We got to see the play finally happen after all this time. And we're gonna get into this in just a second, into all of your overall reactions. But first, I'm your host, Mina, and to my left we have Becca. How you feeling?
Sad, emotional. I wish this show was coming back, actually. Especially after the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I feel that way. What about you, Chae?
I actually am with Becca on that one. I was actually super sad, especially when I saw the thing that Maisha did. I was like, that actually hurt my heart. It made me tear up. I'm just like, well, Maisha, where you go? What happened? Sailor.
Yeah, no, I felt very teary. There was a lot of just very deep, affecting, emotional moments in this. But like you said, it definitely went out with a bang, and I think this was like the finale that it deserved.
Yeah, I was a little bit upset because when it finally finished, we were like fast forwarding a little bit. I was like, is that it? Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, what
we're
about
done
the
now?
stand-in drama
I
program?
was so mad. I was like, this isn't enough. Like, I still wanted a little bit more.
You can't just end me like
a little
this.
bit more.
I wanted more too, but I think it was also it was perfect in a way.
I mean, I'm just glad we finally got a chance to see the play.
We got the final bow.
I wanted to know. I wanted to know what all the fuss was about, and they did stick to the original ending, and we all predicted it. We called this from the very beginning.
But the way we called it was wrong, which I actually appreciated.
Yeah, it was a little different. Although Mr. Mazzu honestly has been annoying me this entire season. Not gonna lie. There have been some redeeming qualities when it comes to Mr. Mazzu. But let's start off actually talking about Lillette and Vanessa, because Vanessa finally comes back. And after disappearing for God knows how long.
Yeah, how long was it? Do we know?
We have
3 to 4 days. I feel like that was.
I feel like it was way longer than that.
Because they had a fight 2 episodes ago, and that was right before the next episode of we're gonna make some cuts, and we're 3 days until show. So I'm saying 4 days. She has been gone for 4 days.
Oh, so you calculated this perfectly.
I tried, guys.
Okay, so what do you think of...
Still too long.
What do you guys think of Vanessa coming back into Lillette's life and announcing the big news that she has a new job on the horizon? Initial thoughts.
I kind of called it, honestly, when she's like, I have an announcement. I'm like, oh, they're moving. I don't know. Something in me was like, Lillette and her are going to have to leave, to start over, start fresh. It's going to add a lot of drama, especially considering she and Robbie have just kind of started kindling. I mean, they've been, they've been in a relationship for a while, but it started really getting a deeper connection, especially since his mom was definitely getting sicker. He was kind of looking out for her, installing the lock on her door. So I just think it's progressed to sort of the next level. And so I was like, oh, they're gonna break it up.
There always has to be a challenge to bring people back down to reality. When something is good, the universe comes in to create some balance. Yeah.
Sorry, JK.
and then again, but yeah, what about you?
I feel happy for Vanessa. I know that sounds really weird, but she seems happy, in the choice that she made.
Truly.
She feels like, okay, I'm finally making the step I need in my life to be that person for my daughter. And in that respect, I totally respect it, and I'm in awe of her for that, because she seems healthier. When she came back,
She seemed vibrant.
Yeah, more vibrant, just more life in her, and that's what we've kind of been missing. we've kind of seen Stan knock her down, and now she's fighting back, but in a more healthy way, which I appreciate.
Right. Lillette did seem a little skeptical, right, Becca? Did you feel that at all?
Yeah, especially when she answered the door and was like, can I help you?
Yeah,
that was my favorite.
I was like, yeah. She wasn't that excited. And if I'm totally honest, my initial reaction was that this job wasn't a real job. It was some guy trying to get with her and offer her something, and then it's not until the end where we realize this is legitimate. And it's good that we ended the episode on that note of this uplifting opportunity versus, oh, Vanessa is getting into the same old shenanigans.
Yeah, I
again.
was worried, especially when she like went back to the car and left Lillette and her like new guy that she might possibly be with, but might just be her boss. Like, I don't know, I felt something weird there, but the fact that he really seemed to respect her and is like, I want her to like manage my office, like not, and especially it's a kind of a step up for her, like. She's just like been waitressing, which of course there's nothing wrong with that, but now she can actually use like all of the skills she's acquired and not gotten like the credit for, not gotten the pay for, and so it's just really nice that someone's giving her a chance like for her skills rather than just like for her sexuality.
I agree with that, but I do have to counter that with it's a little unusual for your boss to come with you to your daughter's performance in a suit and tie with a box of chocolates.
He brought chocolates. It's okay.
Leather jacket, no tie.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Let's be clear about the attire that he was wearing.
Sure, leather jacket. I just like kept saying black, so I forgot that it was a leather jacket. But you're right. In a sexy leather jacket. Let's clarify.
He's definitely a dilf if nothing else. I give him that. Actually, I'm with Taylor in the fact that I was skeptical. Like, you just left your daughter.
Yeah.
Some dudes you don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna see how this plays out. That's seriously how I had to like go into it.
But we're never gonna find out. We're never
gonna find out.
This is
but that's a conversation for our news and gossip for later. So.
Yeah, and also make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you think is gonna happen in the future episodes that don't exist. Like, just let us know in the comments section.
Or let us know who should pick up the show.
Yeah, that's true. Another network could, like, a lot of times this happens where a show gets canceled or not renewed for a second season, and then Netflix will pick it up, or a digital platform like Amazon Prime will.
NBC.
So this happens all the time. It happened with the Mindy Project
and
going to Hulu. Yeah.
They went from Fox to NBC.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You just find, like, a different audience there.
I think it'd be good on ABC.
Yeah, and Freeform.
Or
like,
Freeform,
there's a lot of there's a lot of networks that it could be good for. But let's talk a little bit about Lillette's love interest now, Robbie, because we talked about how their love had progressed. But let's talk about Robbie and his mom and that whole dynamic of them coming together.
So I kind of had it in my mind. I don't know. For some reason, I suspected that maybe they weren't going to be able to do the show at the school and we're going to, like, perform it in her hospital room or something. I don't know.
So
that was, like, what I had in my mind. But I'm really, really glad that she did make it to the show. Like, I was surprised that she did, though, honestly. I thought they were going to, like, have it not be able to happen. So
I thought
something
tragic.
Me too.
I thought something tragic would happen, but that would be awful if something tragic happened on the last episode of the series finale.
Yeah.
So it's good that it kind of, like, all the loose ends have kind of been tied up now instead of leaving on this horrible, depressing note for you. Just no.
I love the whole moment between Robbie's mom and his dad in the car. They just had like a moment like, this is our child. Mm-hmm. And that was actually nice to see because, you know, we talked a lot of crap about Robbie's dad this season.
Yeah.
But that one moment, it was just like, okay, you're not a terrible person. Yeah.
What was that?
That was a benefit of the doubt, but still I have issues with you, dude.
Yeah. The truth comes out.
That's really just how I feel. You're not a terrible person. However, you did have a baby with this woman.
Yeah.
You are going off to see his play, and you just had a moment where it's just like, even though we're not together, we did something amazing here, and I love that moment.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Becca?
I just thought the car ride, like, it was beautifully shot, and I was happy to see him with his mom, like, going to his play.
And on that note, like, on another heartwarming note, let's talk about Gwen and her dad. There was a little bit more friction there, but we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So what were your thoughts on Gwen's dad showing her his condo and saying, you're going to be with me half the time. We have joint custody now. You're spending half the time with your mom, half the time with me. And her kind of being like, no, I'm not going to do that. Just walking out, not even seeing her room that he decorated for her.
What I liked was the fact that he said, I don't care what you want. You are still my daughter. And at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter. You can be mad at me as long as you want. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to be in your life when you're 30, when you're 40. Mm-hmm. I'm still your dad. And you can be angry at me as much as you want. But we are going to spend time together. Like, I really respect the fact that he's just...
He laid it down.
I'm kind of done. I'm done with this angriness, but you can still be angry, but you're gonna stay with me. You can pick up your room, and you can't pick up your room. I really don't care no more. But now you know what's happening in your life.
Yeah,
I laid out the cards.
he's like fighting for her, but he's like doing it in a fatherly way. Like he's not really like stooping to her level. He's not he's not icing her out. He's not really yelling at her. Like, but he still is just like pushing and pushing because he has to salvage the relationship, and he's not gonna give that up. So I appreciated the way that he did that too.
Yeah, and it's evident that he has a lot of guilt and he feels bad for what he's done, and
Oh, definitely.
she's just not letting go of it. Do you think by the end of the episode, Gwen finally lets go of that hurt after her conversation with Gordy?
I feel like it's a
I
baby
think so,
step.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like a lot.
She's not like, okay, I'm good.
I'm good.
I love you.
Sounded like great.
Thank you for these roses.
If that did happen, though, I wouldn't be surprised because I feel like there are parts of Rise that are very cheesy, where things get tied up, but you don't really have the explanation for it, and you're kind of like, oh,
Like,
okay,
wait, okay.
everything's happy now, everything's all like
At
skippity doo dah,
times,
yeah.
I thought that was about to happen with Simon's dad.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I thought that too.
It almost annoyed me.
They had to keep that aspect of reality, though.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
So let's talk about the initial moments right before the play, like leading up to it, where Mr. Mazzu is talking to Tracy, trying to patch things up with her, and then the ultimate decision to go back to the original version of the play.
I mean,
We all called it.
yes.
Yeah.
I was shocked it was Lou, though, who said, hey, let's go back to it after.
You thought it would be the kids.
Yeah, I thought it would just be the kids.
Oh, that's interesting. I kind of thought it would be Lou, honestly, because I'm like, I mean, you can just tell, like, deep in his soul, like,
it's
he's
bugging
not
him.
gonna, he's not gonna, like, allow this to happen. So I wasn't super surprised that it was Lou.
What about you, Chae?
I was surprised because I actually did think it was going to be the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm just at the same time, I respected it. I think
I like
this whole episode, I had a lot of respect for a lot of different characters in just that aspect because, dude, you came to my show 1 hour before curtain to tell me you wanted me to take out another scene. You don't do that an hour before curtain. I'm so sorry to tell you this.
Yeah.
No,
And
that's not how it works.
But you could tell the entire kids to change up everything 5 minutes before showtime.
That was,
That's
they
the
had some days though.
That's the lesson to be learned.
No.
Is you can't tell me what to do an hour before, but I can tell my kids what to do 5 minutes
The
before.
difference is they had
I'm
days.
kidding.
They had days. And he was trying to salvage his job a little. At
Yeah.
that point, he knew, like, if I'm going to do this, I know what I'm risking.
Right.
And at this point, what I'm risking is worth whatever I'm going to get for it. And I love that. Like, you could say, Lou has had a lot of ups and downs this season. You can say whatever you want. But I always love how he is willing to risk it all. Not just, but not even for himself. But he does it for the kids.
Was he willing to risk getting fired only as the drama teacher or as the literature teacher as well? Because I
knows.
kept thinking about that
He
technically.
has a job offer in Allentown, okay? It's fine. They'll always have Allentown.
He knew it. He was like, I might be fired.
Would they have fired him from both positions?
Yes.
From both, though?
I mean,
Probably.
probably. I'm like, at this point, that's why he said I have in Allentown. I don't know where Allentown is from standing right now,
Okay.
but they have that in the back pocket, in the back burner.
Well, do you think that same outcome would have happened had the principal not approached Lou to tell him, hey, we need to change this one more thing? Do you think, because that was the catalyst, but do you think they would have not stuck to the original version if that hadn't happened with the principal?
I think the kids would have.
Yeah, I feel like if the principal didn't say anything, the kids might have just said,
Because the kids were shocked when it
F.
happened. They're like, really? Are you sure?
Oh my gosh, that scene was so funny too. They're like, so the suicide, like we're doing that. Am I supposed to beat her? Like it was just like I love how there's like some comedy like interspersed.
Yeah.
I love the all double checking of everything.
Yeah.
No, but just no, I know you just said this, but just so we're clear.
Yeah.
So I actually have an understanding and I'm saying it to your face.
Yeah.
It's original. Like we're
Yeah,
not
they're
doing
like,
what
wait.
we're not doing what we did. We're doing the original.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
The
Where's
part,
our gun?
it's all in the details too. Like I love that they were trying to find the prop gun, and then the person goes, "You can just use your
Use your
finger."
finger.
and
Poetic license.
Find the gun.
license. Yeah.
Which would have been interesting to see, I'm not gonna lie. If they could not have found that prop gun, I would have loved to have seen the scene of his suicide with him going, and then like a sound effect of a gun, and just like, I would have probably been speechless watching it.
I think
really
it still would have had a very similar effect though. If the acting is there, I feel like you can use your imagination
Yeah.
to fill in the rest. Let's now talk about the play itself. It's opening night. First scene goes on. what are your initial thoughts watching the play? Oh, goosebumps. You shivered. Was that a shiver of disgust or your chair standing up in awe of how brilliant the performance was?
That was like an unexpected shiver I couldn't control. And I was like trying so hard to keep a hand on it and then Becca messed it up. So that was the play is a thing, right?
Yes.
The play is a thing. That's all I'm saying.
I liked the woman in the audience.
Which woman
The
in the
woman
audience?
in the audience next to the he's the superintendent.
The PTA lady.
Yeah, the PTA lady who was like, that dress is a lot more revealing than we saw.
I just loved everybody's facial expressions. Like everyone was horrified, and I thought it was so funny.
I was so perplexed by that because when everyone's like horrified at the mama scene where she's just like harassing herself and singing the song,
like
I'm
doing
like, there's
nothing?
nothing
Yeah.
that scandalous about this. So it was very hard for me to honestly like believe in the outrage of the people watching.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of like, this isn't that believable to me. But later on, as the play progressed, then I could see why people were getting upset with specific things. But it took a while for that to become fully believable for me personally.
Well, I'm also thinking, like, what's their dress code at, like, homecoming and prom dance?
What the heck, Stanton?
I mean, that's a real point. I mean, for me, conservativeness is its own animal. And I guess, like, I'm not that surprised by people's reactions because especially when you do something, you've been doing Grease and Pirates and Panzan, which aren't hard-hitting, they're not gut-wrenching. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Grease to the day I die. It is so much fun, but it's fun, and it's happy. And even though they are going through real teenage things, it's not modernized enough where you actually can, like, connect so much like you are when you're watching Spring Awakening, because every moment of Spring Awakening, your heart is, like, pounding watching the performance. Because if you don't know the play, you don't know what's happening next. And then all the songs kind of confuse you. So I can see the progression of like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And then evolve to, okay, I'm understanding. Maybe I'm disgusted by it. Maybe I'm totally moved by just watching these kids rock in this performance.
Maybe they were like, if this is the opening, like, we've got a big storm coming here. Like, if this is how we're going to open with, like, this, like, even though it wasn't a lot, like, it's only probably going to get more risque from there. So maybe they were just like, oh, what are we in for?
Did you think the play would be shut down halfway through?
No.
I mean, I thought Maisha was going to, if I was him, I would have locked that lighting room door. That was just a suggestion I thought about before the principal busted in. I was just like, dude, you might want to lock this door. Just so nobody has to shut you down.
Yeah, I thought that maybe they would have tried harder to shut it down because, like, they
could
kind
have.
of did.
They could have walked up to stage and been like, we're canceling. Like, they don't have
No.
to, like, be
Sorry.
like, someone turn on the lights.
Yeah.
Like, if they really wanted to, I feel like they could have found a way to.
But, I mean, we had, like, the glimpses of the superintendent's like, oh, this is actually beautiful. Like, let them finish. And, like, he personally didn't really want to shut it down, but, like, he just couldn't deal with everyone else's reactions.
Right.
Oh, that's something for news and gossip, because I really just want to say something about that one, but I'll let it go.
Yeah, well, we're getting there very, very soon. But let's talk a little bit about, this actually happened right before the play, the dynamic between Michael and Sasha, because that's really important when they're having the conversation about the abortion, and Michael finally lets Sasha know, I think you should just get the abortion. How can you have a kid? You're going to become a high school dropout. And that honesty and judgment creates so much tension between the two of them. And they have opening night later on. So it's just a lot of drama to happen before drama.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I was a little bit surprised that Sasha was like, oh, he's so beautiful. Like, when he was performing, it just felt sort of fast to me.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, like, obviously you could tell that Michael only is saying it because he cares, but, like, I felt like Sasha was so angry and hurt that, like, it was a pretty fast switch.
Yeah,
It kind of
didn't make
was.
sense to me either.
I kind of ignored it because I'm like, oh, this is sweet.
And there could have very well been, like, maybe a deleted scene, a deleted
Yeah,
moment here
or that
there.
weird glitch that we experienced.
Yeah, we
when
did. We had a
it-
little glitch when
in
we were
that
watching it.
1 second.
Wait, really?
Like, oh yeah, there was a glitch, and I was just like,
Yeah, what
and I tried to watch it with
happened?
them to see if like it really was just my TV or not. But no, it was you guys' show. I was like, dang it, I wanted to know
It
how
was a
like, she's
2-second glitch. I don't think anything happened within those 2 seconds, though. That's why I was like, this isn't that believable. There were, like, a few things I had problems with the play that felt like certain parts weren't believable. But other than that, I thought the play overall made sense. And my favorite part was looking at the reactions from everyone else to the play. Whose was your favorite reaction, or the one that stood out to you the most? Tracy's reaction?
Yeah.
Tracy's reaction was gorgeous.
That was so sweet.
It was her
She was
watching,
proud.
and then she was like doing the movements with them. You felt it though, like for real, at least for me, I felt it in that moment how much she's just like, no matter what happened between me and Lou, having these kids do the original version and watching my handiwork for the last month, it has all been worth it. Because legit, that girl who sounds like, she looks like Amber Riley to me a little bit, but her voice in the background when she's trying to convince the principal not to shut it down, it like just spoke to my soul in the most beautiful way.
I think I'm gonna have to give it like a tie between Robbie's mom and Lilette's mom, just because, like, especially during the graveyard scene, you could just tell that Robbie's definitely connecting with the character because he knows that his mom is probably not have that much time left, and so he's probably kind of channeling his own feelings into it. And seeing like his mom was just heartbreaking, and seeing Lilette's mom when Lillette kind of comforts him, and also like just her mom's kind of realizing that this is something she's really passionate about, and like she actually can have a future doing that, and she's so proud of her daughter, especially after that big fight they had. Like, I just loved both of the moms kind of seeing their two leads like blossom.
Yeah, I really felt it from Lilette's mom especially. That's so true. And even like just watching it with Gwen's dad, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Who was your favorite?
Tracy, for sure, because she just looks so proud of the kids, and basically everything Chae says, I completely agree with that. And then I also liked the when Lou and his wife were covering.
That was pretty funny.
And like she's still trying to like get under, like, no, I'm trying to see the parents. Like, what are you looking at me from?
I was like, yes.
I was actually really touched by Gordy's reactions to everything. I thought it was so beautiful, especially the conversation that he had with Gwen about, you know, just like how she was like the star of the show and she stole the spotlight. I thought it was so authentic and so sweet, and just the appreciation he had for the amount of effort his dad put into the entire show, and the words that he had for Gwen when it came to the relationship we have with our parents and with our fathers. So I want to hear your thoughts about what you thought about that entire scene, because I thought it was probably one of the most powerful scenes out of this entire episode.
Yeah, I agree, especially because towards the beginning of the season, like, we had Gordy just so kind of resentful that his whole family loved theater, and he just could not tap into it. He couldn't understand it. And it kind of working tech, like doing his community service and understanding like the work it takes and seeing it all come together, I thought that was like really cool. And you could see he and Lou finally sort of bonding and him finally understanding.
My favorite parts were when Gwen's like, are you still gonna stalk me? And he's like, do you want me to? And she's like, yeah, I kind of do. But then what I loved about Gordy, because we actually seen so much growth from him this entire season. He's not that angry kid anymore, and I loved watching his growth. But what he said was super amazing. He said, being angry is too much energy. Why are you gonna spend so much energy being angry at your dad? It's doing nothing for you.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And that moment was just like, he gets it. Like, he gets her, she gets him. Like, I'm like, yeah, more Gordy and Gwen.
They helped each other.
They helped each other, yes.
Yeah,
It's so true. And I love how he was so vulnerable and he humbled himself when he said, like, I know this because of a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
That's like helped me come to that realization. And we kind of like live in this culture where men sometimes don't believe in therapy because they're like, I don't need to talk about my feelings, like I can handle it and man up. So it was like so sweet to see that, and I think it's something that could help a lot of people in that same age demographic realize that there's nothing wrong with therapy and getting the help you need, because when you injure your knee, or you're a football player and you get a concussion, you go to the doctor. So when your brain hurts or like anything else is going on, you go to therapy or you see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So I love that he kind of introduced that, and I thought it was really important and special as well.
I have a question for you ladies. What scene made you guys tear up during that play?
The graveyard scene, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think
my
that's like the classic answer just because
Yeah.
it was so like,
Yeah.
you could just tell it was hitting him so emotionally. And then like Michael and
That's
Lillette
you.
supporting him was so beautiful.
Yeah, and I love the scene where Robbie says to Lillette, "I love you, Lillette," where it's out of character
Oh my god.
while they're doing the scene because you know it's directed to Lillette,
I
not
like that too.
Gwendol or
No,
Gwendola.
not her character. Yeah.
Gwendola.
Wendola.
Gwendola. Gwendola. I need to see this play. I need to
Yes.
see this play.
Yeah, the graveyard scene for me, but like even after the play, it was the Macias was here. I I did the whole thing, closing my mouth, my hand thing, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Macias, where'd you go? Like, you can't just leave like this. You don't say a
Yeah.
word to nobody. That's just rude. And you
I
just
knew he was going to at the beginning, though.
I
Yeah.
know, but that's still so sad to actually see it. I don't
See that he left.
even if you you expect something to happen, but then you actually see it, it's like a totally different change for you.
Well, and
That's true.
keeping it on the subject of Macias, like the Mazzuchellis bought him the new suit. I also like I love his relationship with Lou, obviously, but I love the fact that that's kind of what Gail's storyline focused on as well. Like I think their relationship is so sweet, and she's definitely been like a motherly figure to him. And she's like, "Well, yeah, you're the lighting designer. You got to look good." I just thought that was a really adorable moment.
It was very, very sweet.
Very cute.
Are there any other moments in the play that stood out to you guys before we head into news and gossip?
Michael and Stasha, because this is actually
Michael
really
and Stasha
cute.
kissing, yeah.
Because like you guys were saying earlier that you couldn't see kind of the progression of her switching, and be like, oh, now we're gonna kiss, and now we're maybe together today right now.
Yeah.
For me, I see the progression because even though they had a fight, it was the first time she actually saw Michael, like a guy, versus just, oh, this is my best friend who just happens to now be transgender, and now he's calling himself Michael. And we always said like we kind of wanted a relationship to happen anyway, and now I'm kind of getting it. I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
Like I expected it, like not to happen in the way it did, but I expected it.
Yeah, well, those two, and also, I mean,
Simon
we
and
gotta talk about Simon and Jeremy.
We almost forgot about
We almost
Simon.
forgot.
That kiss.
And that was the thing that we were all waiting for. There was so much like hype
Yes.
surrounding that kiss for episodes and episodes and episodes.
Like, we're gonna get so many comments if we don't discuss
Yeah.
Although I did really like the kind of moment of doubt he had, like for a quick second, because it made it realistic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's like he sees his parents out there. He's like, oh my gosh, they're not gonna approve. Like this is gonna cause so much, tension and just stuff within my family. And I liked the conversation he had with Lou, and he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And Lou's like, listen, like do whatever you're comfortable with. And
Me
I
too.
thought that
That
was
was
very
the first time that I felt like
I need
finally
Lou advice.
Lou, right? Because we
Yeah.
both, like Taylor and I both have had issues with Lou Mazzuchelli,
sure.
and this was the first time where I'm like, that was so sweet. I was not expecting that
and that's
level
the
of
right thing to do, not just like, oh, push through. Like, do whatever you're comfortable with. I like how he pulled back a little bit. But then, of course, Simon was not gonna not do it. And I like that he just took the leap.
Yes.
I don't know why. I thought before he kissed Jeremy that he would like look at his parents and then look at them and then do it to make it more dramatic, and that didn't happen. But
Oh,
that's,
that would have been something.
that's what I
That
was
would've
like
been-
imagining would happen, but I was mistaken.
I think for me, I liked when Simon was having the conversation with Lou about his doubt, that he was like, I think that, I thought I could just go out there and I could just act. Or I could just pretend. But at that moment, I think he realized, like, if I go out there and act, it can still be acting, but there's a part of me, like me
That's
who is
real.
Simon, and that's real. And that's what scared him at that moment before he went
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
For me, that was the realest I've seen Simon this entire season. And I appreciated it, that it actually happened, even if I had to wait till the season
last
finale for it.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So-
love that we did have his mom stay. Like his
And his
dad.
sister.
And his sister, yeah. That was great. And I'm glad it wasn't, like, of course I would have loved for his dad to stay as well. But I'm glad, I don't know, we didn't have all of them stay and it be, maybe a little unrealistic if all of them are just suddenly like super on board with it. But I'm glad
Yeah.
they didn't have all of them leave either, because that just would have been just crushing. So like we
Yeah.
had a happy balance.
That would be crushing.
His sister's reaction watching the show was actually
I love
was pretty good
her.
too.
Yeah, that was sweet.
It was so
like,
cute.
I like how they just kind of like tie everything together in this episode, and we finally see the play, because that's what this whole episode was. It was less drama and more, well, drama.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
Theater. Yeah. But with that being said, we're gonna get into our very special segment, news and gossip. All right, so this is a special segment of news and gossip because, like we announced earlier, Rise is not coming back for season 2 to the same network. Hopefully it will come back in some other form.
Hopefully.
We don't know yet. But what we're going to do today is a special segment where we basically predict how everything ended were there to be another episode after this, because we still have unanswered questions. So, Chae, you seem very eager right now. Okay, you want to go second?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, so Taylor, I'm going to have you go first and just give me like your overall thoughts of where you think the story is being led, because we still have a lot of unanswered questions about Simon, about Macius, about the new move and like how that's going to affect Robbie and Lillette. There's so many questions in like your perfect fantasy world or in your realistic writer's mind, since you are a writer.
Yes. I have a fantasy world mind.
Where would you take this story and where do you think it has been left off?
Yeah, well, I definitely think were we to have a second season, it would focus a lot on people like rallying together and either trying to save the program or like creating their own program in like a sort of different way. I think that we'll have Lou and Tracy, you know, working together, maybe as like equals. Perhaps they'd, you know,
equals, yes.
Yeah, maybe equals. That'd be great.
I'd like to have Tracy on top with Lou.
I would too, but
serving a little bit.
Maybe he would in like reality, but like in title, I could see them like co-directing and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the situation with Macius and his mom is gonna turn out so wonderful. I think he might find himself back with the Mazzuchellis just because. I don't know. I think that he kind of belongs there, and I'm a little bit worried that things aren't going to be as great with his mom as he maybe thinks. And then I don't know about Lillette and the move. I don't know how they'd like fix that, but I don't think that she can actually move away for good. I don't think that's a thing.
Maybe Summer.
But do you think that she for sure is moving with her mom?
Oh, I mean,
or is she gonna stay behind with Robbie?
Or maybe that guy is not as great as he seems. Like maybe he's a little sketchy. I guess I'm like being super negative.
Yeah.
He's dressed way too nice.
I don't know, man. Those chocolates maybe were just.
Maybe they were poison.
This is a different show now, Becca.
Yeah. This is turning
Pretty
into
Little
some
Liars
Once Upon a Time.
It's
Pretty
like
Little
A
Liars
stuff now.
Yeah. Okay, Chae, what are you thinking?
Okay. So, what takes place after? I believe that they'll definitely try to save the drama department in a whole. I don't know how they're gonna appease the superintendent and the PTA, but I know it's gonna happen. As for Macius, I agree with Taylor. I don't think it's gonna be all sunshines and rainbows, but I feel like he won't tell Mazzuchelli's what's happening, and they'll find out on their own. And then that's when, like, I'm taking your son. We're getting adoption for him, and you can stay out of his life.
Ooh.
I really want that in my life. As for Lillette, this is my theory. My theory is her mom lets her stay, but she'll stay with Gwen's mom.
Oh.
So that she still can go to Stanton and be with Robbie. For Robbie, they're going to be together, but I feel like his mom's possible death is going to affect him in some major way. Not full on bad spectrum, but definitely on a spectrum. Gwen and Gordy are going to be dating, and it's going to be official. Summer is going to change everything. My theory for Sasha and her baby, maybe she keeps the baby, and Michael helps her. He has a great family and a loving family, so maybe they'll help support her. Or if she decides not to keep the baby, she'll give it to Tracy. This is for Taylor.
It's really the canon in my mind, honestly.
So she'll give it to Tracy, and Tracy will raise the baby. And Lou and Tracy will co-direct. Like, they will now be on equal footing. They will still butt heads because, of course, they are Lou and Tracy, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Right. What about Simon, everyone?
Simon
Becca.
is hopefully with Jeremy, because let's say the second season starts like right as school starts for the next, and they're all juniors now. So maybe he has a fight with his dad. They're still not getting together, but he's maybe more comfortable in accepting who he is.
Yeah.
Or even if he doesn't know who that is yet, he is comfortable with Jeremy enough to be, okay, we're something. I don't know how to label us, but we're something. We're something. Again, I can't put a name to.
Okay.
Jeremy needs to get comfortable.
And Gwen and her father. the last question.
Gwen and her father, I feel like they'll be okay. Like they're not gonna be all.
He got flowers.
Daddy, I baked you cake, and like, oh daughter, I made you breakfast. Here's waffles with some smiley faces on them. However, I do feel like the summer maybe will give like them all a chance to accumulate to the fact that, okay, I'm gonna be living here half the time with you, living the other half with mom. Even though she's not gonna be all the way over, especially if Lillette maybe does move into Gwen's house with her mom. Oh, it's gonna be on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. She's gonna be playing. She's gonna be playing so many games, and I can't wait for it. But it's not happening. Oh my god.
Becca.
Hey, that's another network picks it up.
Becca, finish this with a bang. What are your thoughts? What do you think's gonna happen?
That's a lot of pressure.
Anything
I was
you
just
wanna
gonna say
add?
that I think Gordy is gonna join the drama department when it all gets fixed.
I wonder if football would come back into it more because we didn't really
Oh.
get that.
Yeah.
Like in these last couple episodes, it's kind of just been theater, which like it's Rise, so of course. But I don't know. I think that like we teased a lot more football than actually happened. So I wonder if they were to get like a season 2 somewhere, if that would come up again.
Gordy is
Yeah.
now
Probably.
on the team officially. He's not on the bench anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
He's not a bench warmer. And I do, I guess, like, in my mind, what I would want to see is Gordy's relationship with her sisters improve. I think Macius allowed for that by coming into their lives. And when Macius leaves, I do think that Gordy has, like, this newfound realization that he's, like, the big brother and he needs to be more involved with his family. He's let a lot of
Take
his
care of him.
resentment and anger fade away with his dad. He's becoming closer to his father. I think he's going to become closer to his mother. I think Macius, in a weird way, was a part of bringing the family together, even though in the beginning it kind of wedged Gordy out of the picture. But ultimately, I feel like it brought everyone together. I think Gordy's doing a great job of making himself a better person, not being addicted to alcohol anymore, getting the help he needs, going to therapy. And I feel like we just see so much improvement with all of these characters and like these wonderful character arcs where Lillette's mom is becoming a better person, really trying to be her best and be the best mom, be the best everything really. And we also see this with Gwen's father, who, even though he's made some mistakes, he loves his daughter more than anything and is just going to be the best dad and the best coach and be there for people. So that's what I love about this show, is that it ended in a way where we see so much growth from all these characters, so much love, so much heart, and just all of these amends and no bad blood, no resentment. For the most part, we still don't know about Simon's dad, but like for the most part, it ended on such a good note. I'm so happy to see that. Hopefully, Rise will find another platform. In the meantime, like I said earlier, please leave your comments in the comment section below and let us know what you think about how this story ended in your mind. Like, what do you think happens next? And also make sure to subscribe to AfterBuzz TV Drama so you can see more great after shows about dramas like Rise. And make sure to follow AfterBuzz TV on Instagram at AfterBuzz TV and on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. And with that being said, we're gonna miss you guys, but you can still keep up with us. Becca, where can they find you?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Hey guys, you can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. Tomorrow, Deception at 8, and the season 2 finale of Riverdale at 10, and I cannot wait.
You guys can find me on Twitter at alphabet_Ann, on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. I also host the after show for the 100 every Tuesday at 11 p.m. and Law & Order SVU every Thursday at 8.
Hey everyone, my name is Mina Wahab. You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic, and you can also follow the Trust After Show every Sunday at 11 p.m. It's about the J. Paul Getty III kidnapping in 1973. It's such a great FX show. And until next time, guys, we will see you.
Bye guys.
Take care.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.